Wait, we on you, big dog.
I'm here.
Let's talk about this, man.
Wade, man.
Yeah.
Let's build champions, right? Come on, Wade. Talk to us about this a little bit. Wade, Coach Larry Wade.
Let him know how long you've been in the sport of boxing. That's the one I'm on. Because you see him, and you don't know him.
But this ain't just about boxing, though, right?
No, it's not.
It's not. Yeah. So shut up. So
Yeah.
let me.
It's not just about boxing. But so, for those who don't know, I started training boxers over a decade, 12 years ago. My first world champion and my first fighter ever is sitting in this seat over here, Shawn Porter.
Yeah.
He won the fight December 7 against Devin Alexander. That was my first guy ever. And honestly, when I got the opportunity, I wasn't confident, sure if I really knew everything I needed to know. So his dad, Kenny Porter, asked me to come to the gym every day for free and just learn. I got paid for my strength conditioning session twice a week, but I would come to the gym every day, stay there 2-3 hours, just pay attention for free just so I can understand. I did that for about 2 years, almost 2 years, got with Badu Jack, and we won a couple of world titles together doing that, and it just continued to grow on. But one of the things that really bothered me was me coming in from a different sport and having the knowledge I have in this area. There was a time where I was at UNLV. For those who know, I was also coaching at UNLV. And so it was a trainer out there training a young guy, probably like 21 years of age in July. And if anybody knows, because we're in Las Vegas, if anybody knows, it's 120 degrees out there at that time. And the workout, Sean, was 9 times 400 with 1 minute rest.
Let me say this real quick, because I noticed a lot of amateurs coming out here now. Y'all not used to training in this kind of heat. Get out there at 7 o'clock in the morning or get out there at 6, 7 o'clock at night. Go ahead, Wade.
And it's 2,000 altitude. Doesn't seem like a lot, but compared to most people, 2,000, you can feel it, right?
Yeah.
So he was out, this trainer was training this guy, and I was like, Coach, I think it's a little too hot right now, but you know, he went ahead and got started. By the time the kid got to the third or fourth 400, his complexion had changed. He got real pale. You could tell he was dehydrated. I'm like, Coach, what's the plan?
He was Ant's color, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't Ant's color.
Look.
Okay,
Yeah.
tanning.
Yeah, so he was basically at the end of the day, by the fifth time, it's time for him to run the fifth 400. The kid was coming off the ground. I'm trying to figure out how I can intervene, and because the one thing not to get in the way in between a coach and their boxer. But I'm trying to figure out how I can intervene politely and respectfully. And so I'm asking him, what is it that you're working on, Coach? Trying to get some insight. What energy system you're working on? He didn't have any answers for me. And I was like, okay. So this kid takes off for the fifth one. And instead of him running in this lane all the way around, he's swerving from 1, 2, 3, all the way around. Instead of running it in 90 seconds, which the coach wanted, it probably took him closer to 3 minutes to finish it.
I've been there before.
Right. And he fell to the ground before he even got to the line. And I was asking the coach when he was coming in swerving, can I get his heart rate? I got his heart rate. And his heart rate was 224 beats per minute. Max capacity is supposed to be 220. So technically, he's at a space where he can have a heart attack and or seizure of some sort, stroke. And so once I found that out, I had to tell the coach, listen, it's over with. And to tell the coach that he's finished training his own athlete it gets confrontational. And I was like, well, we're going to handle this one of two ways. Either you're going to have me walk you out, and me have to escort you out physically, or I'm going to call the police, and they're going to escort you out. It comes with a bit of a tussle, but I had the girls come out, pour water on him, cold water, drink. After 30 minutes of him trying to rest and the coach being gone, his heart rate was still 145 beats a minute. And that's when I had to really come to the conclusion that...
Real quick, just to give people a clear indication, right? So when I would do 800, I would come back, my heart rate is about 168, 170, right?
Are we close to camp? Finishing camp?
Finishing camp.
Oh, no.
No.
We way lower than that.
Okay. Well, give people kind of a...
All right, so a guy like a Shawn Porter, if Shawn Porter's doing that workout and we're toward the end of camp, he's between 124 to 118.
I'm finishing at that?
Yeah, that's when you're able to calm it down too.
No. So yeah, when I hit the line and I'm done, but where's it spiked at?
Like that's why I talked about the high. You mean the high? Yeah, the highest like 164.
Yeah.
The highest like 164, 165.
That's twice around. He went one time around and he's over 200.
He's 224.
And then after 30 minutes, right? So after 30 seconds, I can get back down to like, after 30 seconds, I'm like 130, 140, right?
Right, 140, yeah.
130, 140.
He 30 minutes.
He 30 minutes past.
Water on him, everything.
Water, everything.
And it's still at 170s, you said?
No, he was at 145
okay.
at 30 minutes in when he should have been closer to 100, if not 98.
Yeah.
And
so then what happened?
Then at that point is when I decided, if I plan to be a pioneer and an impact in this sport, I cannot do this without trying to create some way of sharing my knowledge with the individuals and give them the information for them to use. So around that time, I think it was like I said, 2017 is when I kind of started it. And then I finished it a year ago, almost a year, and I published it this year. So basically, for anyone who wants to learn how to be an elite athlete or just even a development amateur athlete and understand what camps are, how to develop a camp, some of the things I've done with guys like Shawn Porter, Badu Jack, Caleb Plant, Luis Ortiz, Rolando Romero, Robeisy Ramirez,
world champions,
all the different world champions I've worked with. This is your opportunity to have it and me not hold back and give you everything we do, anything from weight cuts to nutrition to type of workouts in pre-camp, during camp, post-camps. You'll basically be able to create your own plan from the start to finish for any type of camp.
At one point, we were doing stuff and we were saying, post that, don't post that, post that, don't.
All the time. What do you mean? All the time.
Yeah, we want people to know this. We don't want people to know that. And
we would post stuff at different times so people wouldn't even know what we were doing.
Yeah.
They're like, if you post it now, like, oh, I need to do this at this point in camp. When you saw us do it, when we posted it, it's probably like 6 to 8 weeks later. So you didn't get to see what we was actually doing.
Hey, Coach Wade, I'm an up-and-coming trainer. I'm a dad with a boxer.
Right.
Can I take this book and help me out?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, it's one of the books that I'm actually going to propose to USA Boxing because I feel like there's so many people who have the heart and some of the knowledge to get there, but they may not have the experience. What you see here is over a decade of experience in training multiple world champions at a high level and the things we did to get there. That process isn't always easy. I can promise you every athlete, including Shawn Porter at some point, did not like me at some point. But they walked away successful. The growth and the development that's needed. We talk about Jake Paul. This is growth and development. You're taking a guy with no amateur fights and you throwing him into 10 and 12 round fights now to be a world champion with less than 15 fights. It's going to take somebody who knows how to get you from point A to point B. That's it. You're not going to be able to just guess your way through this one. And one of the things I said, which is somewhat in this book, there's some things you just have to go through. There's some things you just can't fake. You're going to have to, you can't lie about it. You can only go through it. And if you ever heard me say this, that he's going to have to dog his way through this. I knew at some point, like I've heard Kenny Porter say 1,000 times, at some point, a fight going to break out in a boxing match. And at that point, you're going to have to dog your way through. And you saw that fight break out a couple of times. And when he got to that one point, he had to dog his way through the rest of that fight if he plans to win. But I promise you, the experience he had, it's going to make him so much better of a fighter in the upcoming fight.
I agree with that 100%.
And it's going to change his focus in training as well.
List some of the other athletes that you've worked with and how long you've been working with as a trainer.
Well, Shawn, I was with Shawn 9 years. I started my career with him and finished with him in his career. And then I had Badu Jack for 7 years.
But go back before that.
You got some track.
You mean track?
Yeah, I mean like
yeah.
I want I don't need to bring some legitimacy to you, but
I'm gonna cut in right here. You go back and look up Coach Wade. He looked the same. Shout out to Coach Wade. Coach Wade.
I'm trying to look thin. Hey, Shawn, I realized he gave me a compliment. He said, "You looking thin?" I'm like, "Yeah, good."
Hey,
so
out of 50 years, I've seen him mess unfresh once.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
I remember. He said,
There was a lot went on that night.
He said, "Coach, you okay?" I'm like, "Man."
Hey, Coach Wade always on it.
I'm like, man. But yeah, so before I got started in this, I was working with a lot of athletes from professional track and field, NFL, NBA, and track and field. People like Carmelita Jeter, world champion, Olympian. Actually, I think they're the 4x1 world record holder as well. Dominic Arnold, who was also the 110 hurdles national champion and American record holder. I got in track and field, I got 8 Olympians, 5 medals at the world championship level, from world champion to silvers and to bronze medals. Multiple NFL guys like Brandon Mayima-Luna, who was tight end for the Chargers and the Bears. And I've worked with over 10 NFL players at the highest level.
NBA too.
NBA, you know, that's exactly how I met Shawn because I was actually working with Gilbert Arenas at the time. And Gilbert wasn't coming to practice. He'd come to training that day.
So Wade is in his hands in his pockets waiting.
I'm leaving. Like, I ain't staying here in L.A. I'm gone. So I came out here to see my wife and kid. And that's how I met Shawn Porter. Mm-hmm. He was at the track. I was visiting there. And,
crazy.
You know, that's truly how I met him. I wasn't trying to be there for training at the time. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go out here.
Wait, what's one of the most important things to you in this book?
Oh, wow. That's a deep one. One of the most important things to me is understanding that there's no straight line. You know, you have different body types, different energy systems, different levels of experience. You can't put Shawn Porter
different minds,
and different mindset, upbringing, all of that's in everything. There. You can't put a guy like say a Badu Jack in the same body type as a Shawn Porter and think you're gonna get the same result. They're different body types. They came up different ways. And if you're not able to accept that, hey, well, Shawn Porter did it that this way, but Shawn Porter is a different type of athlete. Mm-hmm. You're different. And I'll say this is out there, is in that book. You have all the different body types and you have all the different energy systems, but you have people who I consider to be outliers. Mm-hmm. They're outside of that realm. Mm-hmm. A guy like Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, you know, has this big body frame, you know, endomorph frame. Technically, from a stereotypical standpoint, he's not supposed to be able to have high aerobic conditioning. Mm-hmm. But he does. I've seen him run miles up hills with guys who are 135, 145 that I've trained before, and him beat them running 5 miles uphill at 260 pounds. He's not technically supposed to be able to do that, but he can. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes them special. Mm-hmm. Everybody that becomes a world champion at some point, there's something about them that makes them special and makes them outliers in some degree. And you'll learn that as you go. So don't think that there's one way to get there. Just understand that the way you do it may not be the way somebody else did it.
Wait, I was having a conversation. They had the USA Junior Olympics out here last weekend. I was just in the stands talking with some of the coaches, the dads, some of the boxers and stuff like that. And there was a conversation that was being had about how coaches aren't good coaches based on this and that. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. I said, and I want your take on this. I said, the best boxers are the chameleons. They're the guys who can do a lot of different things in the ring and do them exceptionally well. I said, so wouldn't that mean the best coaches are chameleons? They have the ability to coach a lot of different fighters, a lot of different ways based on who that fighter is. I said, coach, and I said, coach, if you're trying to be a good coach and you're trying to get your fighter to listen to you, you got to pay attention to your fighter. You can't coach him the way you coached everybody else because you got to coach specific to who he is. Talk about being a chameleon.
Ooh, I got the perfect example for that. I'm not even going to call it chameleon. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to give you 3 fighters. Shawn Porter.
Stop talking about me.
Badu Jack and Caleb Plant.
Oh, that's right? For him though, yeah.
So you got to know who you're dealing with. You got to know where they come from, and you got to know the personality. If you can't understand that, you're going to have a hard time connecting and trying to get to understand your fighter. Prime example. He ain't want me to say this. The way you get Shawn Porter to respond, honestly, he needs someone to be aggressive and to actually like jam him up. If I try to be nice and try to rationalize it with him, like, Shawn, come on, man, let's do this workout. He's not going to do it.
Hey, my dad told him he couldn't do it that way.
Yeah. I tried it. I tried to be nice.
Yeah.
I tried to be like, come on, Shawn.
He could have kept trying.
Shawn wasn't getting up. Shawn was not moving.
Hey, Coach Wade, no one knows their kid better than the dad.
Yeah. So then when I realized that style wasn't going to work, I had to be aggressive and like, Shawn, woo, woo. And then Shawn would get up and get the work done. Right? Badu Jack. That style does not work with Badu Jack. With Badu Jack, I had to talk to him and be like, Badu, I need X, Y, and Z. If I was to be like, come on, Badu, blah, blah, let me tell you what's going to happen. Badu's going to look at me, respectfully walk away. If I pursue him, he's going to knock me out because he doesn't respond. He's a man's man. Just talk to him. Anything outside of that, he's not going to take well. Caleb Plant. The moment I'm I better be ready for get hit because he's going to swing. He not even going to Go to it. He gonna swing. He gonna swing. If I'm like, come on, he ain't having it. Yeah. Because he's the kind of guy, I don't need no help. I don't want nowhere to carry me. I don't want to do nothing. I do it by myself. Uh-huh. So the moment I try, it's coming. Uh-huh. So you got to know how to approach all three, because all three of them, I have to train a totally different way. And I'm talking about just in the approach. Forget the training, the approach. And if you can't get to learn the fighter that's in front of you, you have zero chance of being the optimum coach for that individual. And remember this, some are raised in Ohio, some are raised in LA, some are raised in Texas, some are raised in New York. On top of it, if they were raised with their mother, not raised with their mother, raised with their father, not raised with their father, you have to take all these things in consideration if you truly want to be successful. There's some people don't want a father, and then there's some people who do. Mm-hmm. So you have to be able to understand who's in front of you, be the best version of yourself for that individual, and that's how you get there.
Amen. A couple questions. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach Wade, ever since I've known you, you motivate people, speak life into people. 35 years, you've been an elite athlete, trainer.
Yeah.
What motivates you, Coach?
You know what? It's changed. It changed. When I started out in boxing, it was about how can I make this person be the very best version of themselves? How can I do it? Get your first world champion, second one. Then it became, I want to get a champion at every division. Mm-hmm. I wanted to get a belt at every division. And basically I've almost done all of that. I'm like 1 or 2 divisions away. And then I had my son, right? And as my son got older, it was less about the competitive side in that regards, but being the prime example for him to look at every day. See me get up every day, work my butt off to get there, see me fight adversity, because every day's not easy, every fighter's not easy, every situation's not easy. Sometimes you get hired, sometimes you get fired, you have to deal with that, and him see that and see me navigate through that and me still provide the life to him that I want. That became and is my motivation to get up every day and be the best version of myself for him to view every day in spite of what's thrown at me. If he could see that, and I say adversity for a reason, because he needs to see that I struggle, that I'm challenged, and I'm still willing to walk, run, and jog and fight through it. Mm-hmm. If he can see that, then hopefully he's able also to say, I saw my dad do it. So when I run into it, I know how to act, opposed to me go forward in the corner and feel sorry for myself. Mm-hmm. No, son, we built different. Mm-hmm. This is why I said to you early, I don't have an option. My back's against the wall. I'm always fighting, because I already realized you get one chance. Mm-hmm. And if you able to get 2, boy, you're given a true gift, because most of the time you don't get one opportunity. So,
Coach Wade, where's this book at? Where can people find it?
Hey, this book is at Barnes & Noble, which I'm proud of. It's at Barnes & Noble at this moment, and also Amazon.
Yes, sir.
And you can go to any of my social media stuff, Coach Larry Wade, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and you can see on my link on Instagram, you can go into the bio and it'll tell you can buy it there, and it's definitely gonna be worth it. Right now, sales have been doing absolutely amazing. The reviews are doing well. I'm excited for it, and I got another one on the way.
Okay.
We're gonna stick with
That's
this
what's up. That's what's up.